Cleanest ones I've seen. Watch this.
Make it so that it is.
There you go, everybody.
What's this?
So good. Sorry, we got it in.
This is the end of tour thing you will be working towards. This is like the new flex thing. They said that they worked on the Blood Speaker, which was the old general, which I recently got. And they said, you know, that was their first sort of attempt at making like a cool looking, unique character. The fact that you were there at the time, it's limited and it's seen as a bit of a flex item. Like, I was there when I got it and they wanted to really up that. And this is their spin on it. So this is the armored Cantus. And you can see right now, it does look pretty damn awesome. So you can see here the gun he's using. These are the Locust skins with it, and I think I like that because I like the dark, gritty, simple theme. So you can see that he says this has got like Locust runes on it.
If you just look at this, you can see all the little elevation changes in just how I walk. Sorry, team. So this is one of the sides here that has like a real dangerous cut through into mid. Something you can do on this map, by the way, that's kind of a new thing. I'm going to try and show it. Again, sorry, team. Just look. You can actually get a bit sneaky in foliage. So if you're trying.
So this is the new Tour of Duty screen.
So the new Tour of Duty screen, you'll notice, has 4 objectives. 2 of them are generic, so they can be completed in any mode, versus Horde or Escape. 1 is PvE focused, and 1 is PvP focused.
That's just a really good change, right? You now have 4 options. 2 of them are generic, meaning they can be completed in any game mode. 1 of them is PvP, 1 of them is PvE. So you can go ahead and if you want, just only play PvP and get all the way up to this Cantus and complete the Tour of Duty, because you also get stars for completing games now as well. Or you can do all PvE or a mixture, and I think that's exactly what we wanted, and that looks like a great change. So, I mean, just to point out, you know, people in the chat are saying auto veto, trash extremely open, if this is voted I'm quitting the game. We don't want gritty or dark. Oh, this is Bullet Marsh 2.0. Oh, Bullet Marsh. I loved Bullet Marsh as a map, so hate me. You know, but people are saying that this is an auto veto map already. We haven't played the game. How can you possibly say that? Like, it's just, like, imagine how frustrating that is. Just think about that. That's why recently I've been way more lenient, I guess. Because think about how annoying is that. You build this map, you play test it, you set your consoles up, the developer build, you're in quarantine, you get everybody together, you host a dev stream, you showcase the new map, and the comments that immediately come in are, I'm vetoing this map. Bro, you haven't even played the map.
Just the lowdown and dirty on what Gridiron is there, Mr. Liam?
It's a single life elimination objective based mode. So just like Execution back in the day, you got 1 life, you go in, you die, you're out for the round. Yeah. There's 3 ways to win. You can eliminate the enemy team, so that means you kill all many enemy members of the enemy team. There's 1 flag on the map. It moves every single round across the center line. And if you capture it in the enemy's end zone, you will score 2 points as well, which is the same as elimination. Or if you're holding it at the end of a round, when the round timer expires after 2 minutes, you will score a possession victory, which is worth 1.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're from in isolation. As you know, we're all in lockdown, and I figured what better way to spend it than producing some Gears content for you. Now, as we head into the queue, I would just like to say, this is my little segment where I do a little advertisement. Just been frank with you. There is 4 days left on the content goal, and we have passed the content goal. Again, each month we've managed to reach the content goal. I wanted to say thank you to everyone that's supported. I've sunk, I think, more time in than ever for the Gears of War scene recently. I've produced a lot of videos, and I have also been streaming a lot more. Hence the overlay, the graphics, the new sub emotes and stuff that I've been making. And I've really tried to, I guess, become a bit more of a content creator this month. And if you have enjoyed that, if you've enjoyed the streams, and you've enjoyed the content and you are able to support, I know it's difficult because people are losing their damn jobs, unfortunately, and stuff like that. And apologies, you know, sorry that people are going through that. But if you're able to support this sort of niche small YouTuber, I really do appreciate it. Okay, so I've skipped the first basically 16 minutes of this. The reason is they pretty much explained the patch notes, and if you've not seen the patch notes, I've got a video on that from yesterday, so I won't bore you to tears with 17 minutes of them discussing the patch notes because we've already covered that. Octus looks like he's here in the studio on his own. Dana's doing this from home. People are in lockdown, and with all this going on and people not able to link up and been stuck in an office, the fact that they've managed to get developers at home and around the world with dev blog kits kind of thing and sync up this offline/online game of Gridiron and then talk over it in their free time is a really, really good thing. Again, I don't know any real developers that do these 2 hours developer blogs that really go into the nitty-gritty. So yeah, let's just be honest and say it's a really good thing that they do this. Now, you might disagree with what they say or the game or whatever, but you have to hand it to them. They do put in a lot of work, and that's sort of what's inspired me to constantly make videos, is because they're doing a lot, so I figured I should as well.
That are independent of Gears of War, that some are more susceptible to that based on how they work with the ISPs. So as more and more people are playing more and more right now, and I know that we're seeing a significant amount of people playing Gears of War compared to what they were playing a month ago. And that's just, and I think that's consistent with games across the board, just like how Netflix is being asked to not stream 4K into Europe at certain times because it's just choosing through a lot of bandwidth. So the ping that you're seeing is something that we're aware of. We're seeing if there's any mitigations we can do, but a lot of it is having to do with just straight up, just a lot of people hitting data centers and servers and ISPs and all of that at the same time.
The servers aren't broken and the game isn't broken. It's just simply that everybody's at home and there's that many people playing that it's hitting certain data centers that are then becoming unavailable or becoming really poor quality. Then it's sending you off to somewhere else, and sort of like launch, because there's that many people playing, you're ending up on the wrong connection. So it's like a double-edged sword. There's more people playing, and then as a result, you get bad connections. And then the people that have come back to play think, oh no, the connections are still bad. This game's awful. So it's not really their fault. Yeah, they're going to try fix it, but we have to, come on, we have to be honest. These are basically unprecedented times. The entire world is in shutdown, and the fact that the servers are broken, you know, it's frustrating. I've quit NA games and I still have no problem. If you're placed on the wrong server and you want to leave, I get it, no problem with that. But it doesn't mean the game's broken. It just means we're at a period in time where, yeah, sometimes the connections are messed up. Now, recently, we have replayed the past couple of days and the connections have been working, but during that week or so last week the connections were a bit iffy, and that's primarily because of the issue of the fact that everyone's on the internet. Like he says, for me, you can't do 4K Netflix. Netflix just has stopped it because everybody's at home watching it, you know. So that's basically Dana explaining the connection situation.
The team's thinking behind that is that essentially there's a lot of situations in Gears 5 where you're picking off an opponent with a Lancer, you get them down, and then just as you go to finish them, click, 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 and then just by the time you've reloaded, they've got behind cover and you don't get the kill. Now, we want the Lancer to stay as a skill weapon, but one of the things the team is trying to address is situations like that for players of high skill, like many of you probably watching the stream today, you just pull out a snub and finish that guy, no problem, right? What the team's intention behind the changes is to basically make the Lancer more comfortable to use, in the sense of like expecting you to be able to, if you're hitting your shots well, get an opponent down and clean them depending on the range, right? How this plays out and what happens with it, we're going to be monitoring as with any other change, but that's the intention behind that change, if you were wondering.
All of this beforehand, and this allows me to skip and make things faster for you. They go on to say that this is not a permanent change, as anything in the game is not permanent, and people will go, oh, they always say that, but it's true. Remember, we discussed it last time, they've now moved to a hotfix style situation where they can just update things like values very instantly with hotfixes, meaning you don't need an update and it doesn't need to go into a title update because it's just a numerical tweak. So what they're saying is, there's a lot of situations where people run out of Lancer bullets, people crawl to cover, and it feels unfun. Your kills are getting away from you. Now, for me, I think to myself, yeah, you can pull out your snub and kill them, like Octus just said. And if you can't do that, then you don't really deserve to be rewarded with the kill, because the Lancer is already super easy to use. So making it even stronger just tips it over the edge for me. But again, Dana, Octus said that this is one of the things that they know will cause a big problem in the community, and it's the one thing they're focusing on. And do remember that if you ever play any other game, like League of Legends, you know, StarCraft, whatever, sometimes you have a patch where for a couple of weeks something's too strong, but it doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. Sometimes Pantheon, his stun might be too strong, or a Broodlord might be too strong, but they go ahead and they watch it for a couple of weeks and then they'll tweak it. So this syncs up with the fact, which I'll introduce you to in a second, is that, spoiler alert, the game won't be in ranked play, the new game mode, and people will go, oh no, but it's only going to be not in ranked play for a couple of weeks. They want to give it in casual, let everybody play it in casual, figure out what the balance is, what the meta is, do guns need tweaking, reworking, and then release it to ranked. They go ahead to say that it's not like a free-for-all situation where they're saying it's coming to ranked, but it's actually not. And again, I'll explain that in more detail, but it's not like that situation. It is actually coming to ranked in the first couple of weeks. They just want people to play the game mode, and then they can get some feedback and then tweak things. So if you sign in and the Lancer is really, really annoying and super strong, all you need to do is tweet at them and say, hi, I understand the reasoning behind the Lancer change. For me, I think it's too strong, and that's it. And then I'm sure they will tweak it. If it's great, then it's great, you know, but you don't need to say this game's awful, the worst devs in the world, because everybody gets patches wrong and right. Like, sometimes League of Legends has a brilliant patch, the next patch is rubbish, everyone cries for 2 weeks, and then it gets fixed. So don't think the balance is set in stone, because it's not. Think about all of the things that have changed in the game. People have said, oh, someone said to me, why do you keep playing the game? Nothing you've asked for has been changed. You must hate the game. No, think about what I've asked for. The boom shot got fixed. The drop shot ammo capacity has been nerfed. The Lancer fall-off damage has been nerfed. The adhesion of the launch Lancer has been changed. The ease of use of the Lancer also got changed. We also had up A changed, then we had up A movement speed changed, then we had gib range changed, then we had poke changed, snub has changed, flashbangs has changed, the smokes have improved since these are basically the best smokes in the game ever. These are hands down the best smoke grenades out of every Gears I've ever played. You know, Horde is getting updates, the tile systems are getting updates. You know, there's the connections did get fixed. The ranking system is getting a full rework. Pretty much everything I've ever asked for has been looked into, fixed, or changed. So for me, like, the devs change a ton of stuff. So that's why I keep playing the game. This is, and you will laugh, because think of the position I had at the basic. Think of the position I had when I made that very first video saying this was the worst game ever, don't buy it. Me and Paragon were saying this is arguably one of the best Gears of War's ever made. People will come out and say, what, you're a shill, why have you changed your opinion? But it is. Like, in terms of, you know, you might not like the theme of it, and you might not like the flow of it and everything, but I won't expand on that too much, because that's a whole different video. But one of the main reasons me and Paragon and other people like, I spoke to Silent as well, TSU Silent, if you're there, Bricked, you know, it has a lot of APM. You're feeling, you're constantly interacting, you're spotting, you're wall bouncing, you're cancelling, you're shooting, you're timing weapons, you're looking at the TACCOM. There's an incredible amount of like movement and stuff, and when you're playing Gears of War and you're really, quote, sweating, you feel like you feel like you're doing a lot of things at once. And there isn't a shooter for me where when I play it, I feel like I need really fast APM, and I feel like I'm really involved with all of the key presses. And I'm just being honest, like I am really enjoying Gears 5. So yeah, I thought I'd just go off tangent there and just say that, everyone is really, really crapping on the game and saying that Operation 3 is the worst thing ever. But I come from a time where I didn't get anything in Gears 1. I didn't get anything in Gears 1. And whilst I'm on this topic, because this is a long-form channel, and if you're not new to it, subscribe, ring that bell. But this is a long-form channel. Put your earphones in, walk around your house, sit in your garden in isolation, have a listen. People were asking yesterday on Reddit, this was the most upvoted post on Reddit, so think about this. They said the only thing the game should do is copy this, and it was a trailer for some Gears of War 2 map pack. The map pack had 3 maps in it. Flood is one of the worst maps ever. It was awful online. It then had the one where you went up a lift and on top was the incredibly overpowered Scorcher and everybody camped it and you couldn't really go up the lift and it was just a shocking map. And then the third map was Gold Rush, I believe, and it was a Gears of War 1 PC remake and I think it cost 800 Microsoft points. It cost 10 quid. Now, if TC would have come out and said the next maps that are coming out cost £10, one's a remake and the 2 are other crap maps, and if you don't play it, then your servers are going to get split and the player base is going to get split versus people that have maps and people that don't have maps, and you can't play with your friends if they've got the maps and you don't. People would be in outrage. So I feel like people look back with massive rose-tinted glasses and just think about a few things before you rage online,
Really keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Just because we know that, based on early feedback from what people are saying, obviously we want what people read versus how it feels is always two different things.
Yeah.
But we know that out of a lot of the feedback that we've seen so far, the one that is probably the most divisive is around the Lancer clip size. And so we're aware of it. We're looking at it. We're seeing what you guys are going to say. We're going to keep watching the way you guys play. We're going to keep listening to your feedback once the Operation title update comes out next Tuesday. Then that's where we are. So we hear you, we see you, and we'll right now we're just going to kind of steady as she goes because there is a logic behind it, but we want to make sure that the logic, I think the logic is relevant and feels right. I think a lot of you people, maybe we'll just get through this and then Liam, hopefully the lobby will be ready to go.
Lobby's ready whenever.
You guys have probably noticed with us talking a lot about changes that we've made, changes that are coming up. So if we look at us talking about how we're going to go and some of the improvements towards rank that we're working on and various items like that, and the maps, we hear and see what you guys are saying, and for us, making Gears feel fun, bringing back that so it doesn't just kind of technically make feel right, it actually feels right when you're playing it, and it's got that intuitive feel that you're having a good time. And there's some changes that we're making that are going to be more immediately felt. Those can be weapon tuning or what have you. And then there's longer term things like ranked, which we know right now is sometimes not the most enjoyable experience with the way that the points are being awarded and the way that and not understanding 100% why you're getting the points that you're getting. So for us, that's a case of where it just doesn't feel the way that we want it to feel. And
so the reason I played that clip is, and it's not really my viewers. My viewers are pretty sensible. If you subscribe to this channel, this is a long form channel. It's discussion, and it's reasonable, isn't it? Online, Twitter, Reddit, forums, they're not really that reasonable, but I think I'm trying to build a nice little reasonable community. And I think when you sit and you listen to Dana explain that, he's taken time out from basically isolation. He set up the consoles, the company set up the meeting to showcase Operation 3, and he's given a really honest explanation about why things have changed, if things will stay the same, and why. And I think that's really honest, open development, and that's what we should really be looking forward to and praising. And people say, "What? Praise them? Oh, the game's trash. I can't praise them." But you don't have to praise them. You can just say, hey, I appreciate the fact that you're taking the time out to do 2 hours dev blogs every single week. Because I don't think you get that with Call of Duty, do you? And Call of Duty is a massive game. I don't think you get that. I don't get that with even Path of Exile. They do sort of Reddit posts, but not really a sit-down live chat every week. And, you know, they're trying their best. Now, I've watched this whole video. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to showcase some of the Gridiron gameplay and chat over the things that I've seen and sort of repeat in a simpler way what the developers are saying.
The key thing to this mode is that it has unique weapon swaps. So this mode has swaps on the map that are not like normal versus multiplayer. We've optimized the maps and the weapons we put down to make the right balance of fighting for the flag and fighting for centerline power weapons. We're making sure those initials that you love from those one life modes are going to pop, and you're about to see it in action right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think people, it's not a capture the flag mode the way that you think of a capture the flag mode is. Think for Gears fans, this is almost a more of a like, oh yeah, let's leave him on the beach right there.
Yeah. In about 20 years maybe when I have some muscle strength.
No, it's a mode that's a bit different in that like it's not a pure capture the flag. It takes a lot of that vibe of what execution is, but rather than having those like just janky ass stalemates, so Liam is dead already, because that was a silly push.
Yeah,
but,
I dived for the flat. I dived to clean up the kill. It was a bad decision.
Yeah. So rather than taking away that or having that kind of stalematy vibe that execution can really devolve into too much. This way, people are going to move along, and it gives a reason to play, and it gives an objective by going and either doing squad wipes, which I think just happened right here. So they got the 2 points to score, and then the other one that you would get is as you see Liam coming out of spawn in the next round, he's going to run over the end zone. So what you do is when you grab the flag, you want to get it to the end zone of your team. Of your opposing team. There are power weapons on the map. So what you want to do is you have to decide, do you go and throw everybody at the flag, or do you want to go and fight for power weapons at the same time? And I think that dynamic adds a little bit of variety and fun. Especially we see this mode is going to work the competitive setting. We think, and when I say competitive, I don't just mean esports. I mean competitive in terms of like high-level competitive players are going to be, we think are going to find that the simplicity of an execution style game mode, the single life game mode, is going to be forceful. So here we go. Liam is now.
I tried.
Now once he
tried.
gets into the thing,
I don't know how. My smoke. I cover slipped us.
So I've watched this gameplay. It's looking good so far, and it's looking interesting. I only have one concern, and it might not be a concern. I've not played the game mode. This was my initial thought. I'll let you know. When I originally watched this dev blog and he ran in and captured it there, I thought to myself, oh, I thought he stood in the end zone and captured it. But you have to be in the end zone for 5 seconds. The only thing that worries me about this game mode is when you're outnumbered, let's say you're in a 3v1 situation. When you're in a 3v1 situation in execution, one of the main reasons the game mode sort of died off was it became hard to clutch, didn't it? It became hard to clutch because how do you kill 3 people that are crossing you? Players have got a lot smarter since the Gears of War 1 days, and you get crossed out and you get downed and you can't really clutch. Now, on top of that, you have to fight 3 people, but 3 people will also now have a flag. So 2 people could run and get the flag, and the other guy could keep you busy. Now, you could say that's a good tactic. You could say that's going to be frustrating because you can't really clutch. But the only flip side I can think, because I like to think of the good and the bad, is maybe, and I did ask Dana, and Dana said there'd been a lot of clutches in playtesting, and there is some in this gameplay as well. The only reason I can think of it not being an instant flag touchdown is because if you are outnumbered and somebody just grabbed the flag and ran and touched it, you can't really get past 2 people and then stop the guy instantly touching. But if he has to wait in the zone for 5 seconds, you might be able to get back, kill the guy that's waiting around in the zone, kill him and then do the old 1v2 clutch or the old 1v1 clutch, you know? So I think the reason that they've added the 5-second limit to capture it, initially I was like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I thought it would be like, people can go and play execution, or I can choose to be a flag runner, leg it for the end zone, touch it and get the point. But I think if that was the case, the clutches might be difficult, because then obviously again, when outnumbered, if somebody can just sprint and touch the flag and stop you clutching it, then what do you do? But if they have to wait around in there for 5 seconds, that gives you a window to be like, right, I can now fight this guy, and then the flag's sort of out the equation for a little bit. So that was my only thinking going into it. So I thought I'd share that with you, but it does look very fun, and I'm going to continue to play you through this dev blog.
Yeah. So normally Liam would have to be alive for 5 seconds, or you have to beat the score. You have to be alive for 5 seconds inside of the end zone.
So for people saying about execution rules, just so you know, it uses the damage mitigation rules of Escalation. So it's not quite like when you play King of the Hill. The further away someone is, the more damage mitigation they get from you. So up close, you can clean them up like execution, and then the further they are away, the more bullets you have to put in them to down and finish them.
And this mode isn't going to come out in ranked. I wanted to say that as well. We're going to look at that. Like, these are things like, you know, right now we think the way the mode is designed is a lot of fun, but if we feel like execution rules in terms of downs and kills and so on and so forth is an important aspect of it, then we can always change that after the fact, or maybe run that as a special event list or what have you. So these are
So you can see we freaked out in chat. Everybody, including me, was like, what? It's not a ranked game mode, because he just spoke all about esports and everything and all about competitive. But he does go on to say, and I will let this full clip play out because it's important. He does go on to explain, like I said at the beginning, it will be out in a couple of weeks. And he does as well. The reason I'm going to play it is he actually sort of tells somebody off, and I love to hear that, man. I love when a dev has got a personality and they're like, yo, I'm sick of your shit, bro. I'm going to call you out. I love that. So I'm going to play this clip in full.
It's going to be ranked. Sorry. It is going to be ranked eventually.
Yes.
But it's not going to be ranked out of the gate. So, and this isn't going to be like free for all where ranked is coming and then it takes longer to get through. It is something as simple as, like, we expect ranked to take place probably within a couple of weeks after the season begins. And that is for us to go through and build out a skill-based population so we can get people in the ranks in an effective fashion, so that we can get people put in the right matches, so people are so that everything's a little more consistent and stable. And then I'll just take 2 seconds and actually talk about ranked FFA. One of the reasons why it's taken so long is it's hard to manage what does a rank mean inside of FFA. Yeah. If you finished first, obviously you're going up. If you finish 7th, do you go down? Do you go up? Those are some of the things that we're trying to manage with ranked. And if we're going to make it ranked, we want to make it a really, really good experience. So while I don't want to talk a ton about FFA, that's some of the context on why it hasn't happened.
And again, Dana was recently in my Twitch stream. Thank you, Dana. We chatted about this and he explained it. And it makes sense. This can come into ranked with a click of a button, because obviously how you perform and get the win, they can look at like flag captures, kills, etc. It's going to be more simple to work out who did well and who gets the points from the ranking system. With FFA, obviously if you come top 3, you're going to get promoted. If you come bottom 3, you're going to get promoted. But what do you do for a guy that maybe gets a lot of kills in 6th place but dies a lot? You know, it becomes difficult to work out a ranking system for free-for-all. So that's why free-for-all's been such a delay in getting in ranked. Obviously the player base as well, but it is difficult to figure out a ranking system. Whereas for this has a different issue. This isn't a casual quick play game mode because they don't want it to go into ranked. No, they want it to go into ranked. The reason they're delaying it for a couple weeks is it's literally a brand new game mode. It's never been in the franchise ever. So you need a few weeks and time to figure out what the good swaps are, what's overpowered, how do they, you know, rate the ranking system. If everybody's capturing the flag and getting points and it's way too easy, then maybe getting flag captures wouldn't reward you with a high rank because it's easy to do. Obviously I'm making that up, that's just spitballing ideas, but that's what I'm saying. This has never been in Gears before, so obviously releasing it into ranked immediately would be a disaster. So I understand why they're holding back for a couple weeks.
Okay. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Sorry, we're being pressured on this flag. So you can see we have the flag now, so even though it's a 2v1 situation, like we can just go play for this end zone, and the last guy alive is going to have to really fly at that end zone and try and stop us here, because otherwise we're just going to get this touchdown. So you can see your first touchdown here. Also, the UI team did an amazing job on that. Oh, Strang got bodied. The UI team did an amazing job. If you look at the new UI for the scoreboard and for the upper end, like there's some amazing work done here by our incredible UI team, which we're excited about. So touchdowns, you'll see we're going to play a variety of maps today, and you'll see how the different maps play. Some maps you'll find there's more kind of slay out moments, and then other maps you'll find there's more, other maps. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Oh no, we do have Dana. Sorry, you look frozen on my screen. And other maps you'll find it's more of a touchdown, where touchdowns occur more often. So
those weapon spawns are for this mode. We're not changing weapon spawns for other modes.
Yeah, this is just for this mode.
Yeah.
It's to make sure those center line fights you expect are great. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but like as I'm taking pop shots off cover, you'll probably notice that my shots seem to be hitting. I accidentally misrolled. My shots are hitting more consistently. That's one of the Nasher changes we made. We heard that people were like feeling like their Nasher shots off cover slips and stuff like that were feeling like they weren't hitting where they should. You should find they're a lot more kind of like hit where they expect now with some of the Nasher changes that are coming. So.
You have debased them.
Humiliated. Hold on, Frozen. This is not actually what you said is not accurate. I never.
So this is why I wanted to play this clip, because this guy called Frozen TV, don't be like Frozen TV. The developer, right, this is why, right, if you ever wondered why I'm being more positive towards the developers, it's because they have to read thousands of comments like this. So he's just taken 2 hours out of his time to set this up and explain why the game will not be in ranked at launch. That's what he explained, clear and concisely. He comes into chat and says, just got to keep it real. You hype up the single life objective and then don't plan it on being in ranked. Then you grab the attention of execution players but make it Warzone rules. For one, it's not Warzone rules, it's actually escalation damage mitigation rules, which he explained. And two, he explained why it's not going to be in ranked, but it will be coming in ranked. And I thought I'd just play Dana's little speech here, because I thought it was really well handled.
Said it was don't plan on being ranked. I said it's not going to be ranked out of the gate. Ranked is coming.
Correct.
Which I said that. So don't come and start spreading lies in the chat. That's not accurate.
Yeah.
And then we're not saying execution players, but make it a Warzone rules.
Yeah.
It is a single life mode, which is what we talked about. So before you start kind of coming in and sort of implying a bunch of things that are not accurate, it is accurate. It is a single life mode, which is basically what we've said it is. And you know, like that's not accurate. And it is going to be ranked. And I told you why it was going to be ranked and why it's not ranked out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that was a really good explanation. Well said. Put that boy down. And the thing is, right, now that I've watched it as well, now that I've watched it, you know, I've previously watched this, and now that I've watched this, it's very evident why they've done this thing. It's because execution's kind of old, it's dated. Warzone's old, it's dated. It doesn't really work with the way clutches and stuff happen. The devs explained that in the playtesting and all of this stuff, that this is a nice way to stop those weird stalemates and those weird standoffs that used to happen in old execution. Now, back in the day in 2006 when the online gaming was new, having somebody stall out a round for 4 minutes didn't bother me. It probably would really bother me right now if somebody could just stall the game out for 4 minutes. So he explains that we've had different ideas, you know, sort of like gas coming in to shrink the execution rule so people don't camp and people don't run away. We've had ideas of putting a boom shot that spawns, you know, in the last minute to try and stop Execution or Warzone being dragged out. They've had all these different ideas, but this is their Gears twist. It's a way to make stalemates disappear, keep the game fast, but also innovate. So they've added the flag. So really, it is a capture the flag game mode, but it's also kind of capture the flag because it's their way of stopping stalemates in Execution / Warzone. And I think that's a pretty smart idea.
I mean, and the benefit to it not being ranked out of the gate as well is that lots of people can just go in and experience it for the first time. Like, we believe in this mode. We've been playing it a lot internally, and we're really excited about it, to be honest. We think it kind of has a mix of, like, if, for example, one of the things you might be noticing, look how punchy these rounds are, right? Like, the game plays so much quicker than Execution. That what we're hoping is it's that people, whether you're an existing Execution fan, or past Warzone fan, or you're a current King of the Hill player, or a TDM player, even if you like respawn modes, this is going to feel quick enough that even if you're a respawn player, you can still really enjoy this. I tend to play a mix of King of the Hill and Execution at home, but generally more King. And I find it super like high-paced, snappy. Like I get in, I die, I watch some people fight, and I'm back in. Like it feels
and then
very
I think
quick.
so. Jippery asked about how does the touchdown versus eliminated team the same point value? We actually played with having a touchdown worth more than an elimination win, but it actually slowed down the mode and made it worse, because what ended up happening is as soon as somebody got into a scenario by which they were up 4-2 or 3-1, like they would be ragging for kills or things like that, and just to keeping the pacing up, because the driving towards a touchdown and the elimination base ended up being the same. We tried playing it a different way, and it's something that just ultimately as much as we tried, we couldn't make it work. Because I get what you're saying, because intuitively you want one to be worth more than the other. It's just as we were playing it, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, so if you see there, they actually played that very well. It was a 3v2 situation. We lost dibs on the flag carrier, and the flag carrier got a touchdown behind our backs. So we actually screwed up there. I don't have audio, so I'm playing with that audio so Dana can actually hear me. So it's a little bit interesting to try and work out when a touchdown's happening. But we completely dropped the ball there. Like, two of us were focused on the wrong guy, and they managed.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and skip it to the new map, because I'm sure you all want to see the new map. There's lots of interesting stuff in this dev blog, and again, I do say thank you to them for doing this. So we're going to jump ahead to the new map, showcase that off, and also they do showcase some characters as well.
Guys, loud and clear that maps are really important to you guys, and a lot of these decisions you don't feel the impact, like decisions that are made but you don't feel the impact down the line. So in the case of us moving away from sort of the prioritization on tiles to the prioritization on traditional maps, you guys are going to start seeing the impact of that coming down the line. Operation 3 was baked a while ago from a content standpoint, so it's hard for us to go back and do that. But we heard you guys free and clear around maps you guys want. We know that you guys want new maps. We know that you guys want classic maps. The ever popular river, Jacinto is asked for a lot, things like that. So all of those things that we want, that we know you guys want, those are coming. So we know. So anyways, let's look. So we got Papahanu here. So this takes place on the Galangi Islands, as kind of those of you may be aware of the significance of that. There's a center ruin in the middle here, where in this case the flag is based. And then you're going to go, and then there's sort of multiple lanes on the left and the right there that you're going to go through. Nice shot. Oh, Liam.
What are you talking about? I almost got two. Don't put this on me.
But we think it's a really great map. It's very moody. I think it's unlike any other map we've seen in Gears in a while. To me, aesthetically, it's got that kind of gritty old Gears vibe to it, but it's still kind of, and it's got different cover, where like cover now can be trees. So you can do dances and strafes around objects, not just with wall-based cover, but with more vertical-based cover as well. So I think that to me is an interesting aspect of what that's all about.
I think for me the big standout thing about Bahanu, and that's the most different, weirdly out of everything, is if you notice it's got a ton of organic elevation change. Like usually in a Gears map you've got flat and you've got stairs and you might have a ramp, right? This actually like has rolling hills that like have elevation differences. So when you have a Nasher fight on this, you're gonna have to actually adjust your shots up and down a lot less kind of linearly than you would before, where it was kind of like, oh, they're on the stairs, I aim a bit more up, right? Like if you just look at this, you can see all the little elevation changes in just how I walk. Sorry, team. So this is one of the sides here that has like a real dangerous cut through into mid. Something you can do on this map, by the way, that's kind of a new thing. I'm going to try and show it. Again, sorry, team. Just look. You can actually get a bit sneaky in foliage. So if you're trying to flank round and get behind the enemy team, this is actually something you want to use to try and keep yourself as hidden as possible, because there's so many good angles.
Liam playing, like an old Fortnite bush camper right now.
No. Do not say that. I don't play Fortnite. PUBG bush camper I'll take.
But we think this mode I like this map because it actually plays really, really well across a variety of different modes. It works great on Gridiron. I think the end zones are positioned really, really nicely. But it's fun on Koth. It's fun on Escalation. It's just a fun map around it. Probably actually is my favorite Gears 5 map.
Strang, don't cap. Leave
I remember
the last
when
guy
it was
down
being designed a long, long time ago. So
if we get Garrett down,
it's nice to see it finally coming out.
If we get Garrett down, don't cap. Oh no! Maybe I'll get it in. There you go. You can see some of the camera work there though. You can see like the way we're like kind of following it up, and then the camera pivots down. We're trying to really lean into that for executions to make them pop. So I try to show you. And yes, it is a bigger map. It doesn't, like the actual played area in the majority of the map isn't actually that big. The spawn areas are quite big because sometimes you end up playing pretty deep into them. But the actual, if you look at the kind of center line of the map, it's pretty kind of a normalish size.
This looks this looks like it could be a fantastic map for Guardian, for those Guardian players as well, because it's quite a big map. There looks like there's lots of areas to protect the leader, and like he says, you can sit back a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, overall, I'm not going to showcase the full 1 hour gameplay because you'd be here forever. Will this time leave a link in the description to this dev blog so you can have a watch yourself. But there's lots and lots of good gameplay coming out, and I thought I'd showcase that because, yeah, I think it does look a really, really unique map. So, as you can see, here is Mira as well. They chatted about how they've really reworked the face so it's not quite Anya. And again, great to see some classic Locust-esque characters coming back. And again, she had the liquid metal skins, and I think that looked really awesome. So I'll just click through this, and you can see that on this particular map, each map obviously has different end zones and different weapons. So you have to think that maybe you hate All Fathers or maybe you hate Icebound, but maybe the end zones where they've put them has changed up the way the map plays. And you can see here, watch this. This is one of the new executions, and what they've done here is they've reworked the camera angle, so when you're doing an execution, the camera sort of zooms in to suit the execution you're doing. There's also a pistol execution which looks absolutely outrageous. It's probably the coolest execution I've seen in the game. It is tied to the Boltok, so you will need a Boltok to do it, but I think that's great in it. It's funny, it's got a great camera angle, it's classic Gears, it's gory, you're playing as a Locust, and I think that looks like a really good change, to be honest. I'm gonna see if I can find the Boltok execution, because the Boltok execution was absolutely superb. Oh, here we go. So coming up now is the Boltok execution, and this is a great example to showcase the new camera system they've put in. So each time you do an execution, again, the camera is going to do something unique, and as you can see here, with the Boltok that Liam gets out, it is one of the cleanest. I'll turn it up. It's one of the cleanest ones I've seen. Watch this.
Make it so that it is...
There you go, everybody.
What's this?
So good. Sorry, we got it in.
That is, you know, that is the camera swoops in. That is really, really gory, isn't it? That's like classic over the top violence in Gears. I think that looks awesome.
You have
Thank
it? Oh, here we go.
Thank you, TC Devs.
Oh, dirty. Dirty.
Yeah, thanks, TC Devs. See what? So that's what we meant about the camera work. Like, we're trying to throw that.
Forget, is that execution in the tour rewards?
Yes, everything we're showing today is tour.
So coming up here, they were talking about Canals, and as you can see, it is ever so slightly different to the Gears 4 variant. They were just saying that, you know, it's not just a straight copy-paste job. They do work on art passes and stuff. And honestly, everyone was bashing the fact that Canals is in the game. Look, Canals is such a classic game mode. You'll be able to go online, host your custom game, rename it Snipers, and have a snipe out on Canals like the old days. And I will be doing that. I will definitely be playing snipe matches and having some fun on Canals. But, you know, I just think everyone's just bashing the content before it's come out. Listen, you know me. I'll bash it all day if the content comes out and it's absolutely crap. But you can't really do that, can you, until it's actually been released. I think this map looks really, really decent. It's Canals, obviously, so you know it's going to play well. It's going to have snipers on it. And again, just showcasing there that armoured Cantus, which is the general. If anything, just this as a side note, I'm surprised they revealed the general. I thought they would have shown the picture in game, but not any footage of it. And then somebody that grinded for general first could have uploaded it and then shown, like, now that the general has been unlocked, they could have then done a reveal. So it would have been pretty good to sort of not showcase the general, but at the same time, I understand why they've done it, because it is pretty hype. But yeah, they might have been able to even build more hype there if they didn't show off this general. You can see here the sort of weird aiming when you scope in next to a wall. You sort of look at the floor. I'm still not keen. I still feel like the sniper needs a bit of a buff. But oh, that was a really nice sweep shot. And yeah, there's some classic Gears sniper action for you. Is he going to get the next guy? No. Oh, he's stuck, isn't he? He's gone. So if you're interested, just to end this video, as always, if you've enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, consider supporting the content goal. If you enjoyed this sort of, I guess, rerun slash explanation, you can see here this is him jogging through the tour of duty, explaining the new star system, and he does skim through really fast all of the unlocks. So if you're fast enough and you want to pause your way through that and have a look yourself, you'll be able to see all the unlocks there. I'm sure somebody on Reddit will have already done it, but you can see there's weapon sets, helmetless versions, grub killer emote, some locust runes, winter coal, liquid metal, savage drone snipers, some iron. You know, I think there's some good content in there that looks worthwhile to grind. They also do go ahead and show one of the pages of the unlocks, but they don't show them all, meaning what I mean by that is, you know, some of the medals that you have to, you know, you have to work towards. They go and show that if you've got Hivebuster Coal, that's going to match up with your Hivebuster Lizzie. They're the Locust Runes loadout set. That's probably what I'll be rocking, just because I like the Locust and I think the classic sets are the best. You've got obviously the old Duke Xbox controller, if anybody owned one of those. A Theron Elite, that looks pretty sick. I do like a Theron. The Palace Guard, he's like a massive Cantus, a massive Theron. And yeah, then you've got the liquid metal sets at the end. So I think that looks really good. And I thought I'd show that. So again, hopefully you've enjoyed that video. If you have, thumbs up. Ring that bell, whatever you want to do. I think it looks really, really good. And I think pretty excited to get playing and trying out the new content and grinding towards it. And also, they haven't even shown Horde or PvE Escape, and apparently that's getting a lot of rework done as well. So there is a lot of content gone into the game. So when people are like, hurt one map, lol, they've done nothing. This is the screen I was on about. You can see here you've got this is for a custom Niles drop shot. This is like escape-based stars. Obviously, this earns you stars towards the main tour, and then you get a little objective on top. So